If I think back to my younger days and contemplate a video game that I remember enjoying the most, the first name that comes to mind is Tony Hawk's Underground. Tony Hawk's Underground, also known as Thug, was a game developed by Neversoft and published by Activision in 2003. It was released on PS2, GameCube, Xbox, Game Boy Advance, and Windows. It was the fifth entry in Tony Hawk's skating game series following Pro Skater 4 that was released just a year earlier in 2002. If you're not aware, these games are filled with skateboard tricks, flips, grinds, manuals, and everything in between. To the outsider who has never played these games, you'd think that, they're all the same. But to me, Thug is much different. Sure, like I said, much of the appeal of the game is it lets you take control of a skilled skater with the ability to do pretty much any trick you want from the safety and comfort of your home. You don't need to spend the real-life hours, days, or even years practicing skateboard tricks, risking a bumped elbow or a scraped knee. In these games, you have the ability to do it all. You can drop into a half pipe from the top of a building. You can grind on telephone wires. You can even jump a helicopter. Wow. How sick was that? So, if these games all seem very similar, what sets Thug apart? Well, for me, it's the story. Sure, in the Pro Skater games, there is a career mode where you play as a skater completing objectives on a time limit. But in Thug, you play as a no-name skater from New Jersey with the passion and goal of becoming a pro skater. You start the game by creating your character. This is the protagonist of the game and who you'll be playing as for the entire game. You can also customize your deck so you can have complete creative control. Then, you actually start into the game. You first run around the town completing various missions, such as helping your friend Eric by collecting parts for his new skateboard, walking a dog, and even driving a car to impress a street gang. But eventually, pro skater Chad Muska comes to town, and you're finally given your shot. So you chase his car around, do a bunch of tricks near him, and you impress him enough to where he gives you advice to try to get sponsored by the local skate shop and hands you a new board. This is where your journey begins. What follows is a tale that can only be described as a hero's journey. You start as this nobody skater with a dream and passion to pursue something greater, and you play as this character all the way through. You tour the world, starting in small places like Tampa and San Diego, and eventually go into other more exotic places such as Hawaii and Moscow. While your tour, you're doing similar missions as you did in New Jersey, but now it has a higher purpose, as it eventually leads to building up your brand and image as a professional skater. In all of these places, you encounter and impress other professional skaters such as Stacy Peralta, Bam Margera, and even Tony Hawk himself. It's an incredible adventure that immerses you and makes you really feel like you yourself are improving as a skater and progressing your career as a professional. There's also the aspect of different choices you can make during the game. Once you impress all of the sponsors at the Tampa Am skateboarding competition, you get to choose whichever sponsor you want to take. With names like Birdhouse, Element, Flip, Girl, or Zero, the choice is very difficult. It really makes the player feel like they have complete control over the character and further immerses the player in their experience. There are some other incredible aspects of the game and plot that really supports my thought process, but I don't want to spoil the whole game. I encourage you to legally purchase the game and play it for yourself. You will not regret it. Above any gameplay or plot details, Thug also has an amazing soundtrack that still rings in my head to this day, with bangers from bands such as Queens of the Stone Age, Jane's Addiction, and the rapper Nas. Oh man, riding around landing sick tricks to Nas's The World Is Yours is a whole different feeling. It's a feeling that not many games have made me feel since. Thinking back to this game, this past summer gave me the want to play it again. So I legally purchased the game, played through it again, and it completely encapsulated me once again. Even approximately a decade and a half later, this game still took me in and made me fall in love with it all over again. The game immersed me so much, I even purchased myself a new deck to get back into skateboarding like I once was many years ago. I haven't made much progress yet, but maybe soon I will. maybe I'll have my own Chad Muska moment. Once I completed the game again, I tried my hand at Thug 2, which is the sequel. But it didn't pull me in the same as the first one did. It tried to match the similar feel, where you travel to different locations and complete different missions, but the immersive story experience, where you basically go from zero to hero, was completely lost. There was barely a plotline in the sequel, similarly to the other Tony Hawk Pro Skater games, which is why Thug was such an incredible game that stands alone in its field. The game was so much different than any others in the series, whether it was a happy accident by Neversoft, or they wanted to try something new that they didn't see a purpose in continuing, it's forever unknown. But the quality experience of the game will be something I, and many other fans, will never forget.